Hello, this is the Tradesight US Stocks, Futures, and Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 14th of November, 2021, ending Friday the 19th. Let's talk calendar a little bit here, get that out of the way. So what do we have here the next 2 weeks? This week is regular options expiration on Friday, so Wednesday would be the potential options unraveling move if we get one. And so we'll see. And then Friday itself, probably not that interesting. The following week is Thanksgiving, one of my favorite weeks of the year. But what that means is Monday maybe something, Tuesday a little less, if anything, the way things have been going lately. And then people head out the door. Wednesday's the travel day. Thursday's Thanksgiving. The markets are closed. Friday's a half day that nobody shows up for. We have to be open by rule because the stock market can't be closed more than 3 days in a row. And that's it. So it's usually kind of a bust week. Anyways, dollar index daily chart here broke out to new highs this week and made a decent move early and then just kind of flattened out to wrap up the week. Let's go through a couple of the major pairs here. The euro dollar, just the inverse of the dollar index. There's a 13 buy signal there, and you can see the risk line for that buy signal is holding it right now. So that is interesting. The pound dollar also swept at least down to new lows, didn't go far. Aussie dollar, not at lows yet. Sorry about that. Euro yen, not much there. Pound yen, not much there as well. Let's just look at a couple of the intra-week ones. Let's just do the pound for the most part. 30-minute candles. High to low for the week, 250 pips or so. There was one move on Wednesday. And that was about it. Here's the euro dollar. High to low for the week is 160 pips. Not great. So, it is what it is. A kind of mixed week for us here. A couple winners, a couple losers. It is what it is. Let's look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. And as you can see, close to highs still. And again, the same story. Now remember, you are at this interesting time of year where, it looked like things were going to start to get a little ugly back in September and October. You were bumping up against the debt ceiling issue, and then that got extended into December. That is not a great time of year to be fighting over the debt ceiling. It hurts the market every time we get near it, and so you don't want to be hurting the market right at Christmas time for people. The general thing that you see is the tax evasion, what I call the tax evasion move, which is when the market's been up most of the year, then once you get into about this time, middle of November, if people are in positions, they don't want to sell them because they don't want to lock in their tax gains this year. They'd rather wait until January and do it. But, we have supply chain issues. We had food crunches. We have travel issues. And we have, I wouldn't call it inflation. I think inflation's a temporary thing here because of the supply chain issues. That's actually how that works. So I don't think it's going to stick and hold, but it could be around for deep into next year potentially. And then you've got this debt ceiling thing. So there are things that could still hurt the market. Any other year you look at this and you go, yeah, they're probably going to stop selling right about now. And you might get a little year-end run-up or whatever because nobody wants to sell. But we'll have to see how it plays out this year. Take it day by day. Let's go through the daily charts of a couple things. So you got crude oil currently sitting at 80.25. It's off the highs. Gold down $6.10 on Friday. It has made a little move up though over the last 2 weeks. The S&P cash up 33.58 on Friday. NASDAQ 100 up 167.41. The SOX up 30. Right. Back to near highs again. Biotech's up 5. But they're down kind of lower end of where it's been for the last 3 months. Russell 2000 up just 2 points. But it kind of is trying to retest that breakout it just had, so we'll see if that holds and then curls back up. The Dow up 179. We don't really care about the Dow. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 65 cents. So bonds down, rates up with some of the inflationary numbers that we saw. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 311, on the New York plus 201. Trend closes at 1.01. Puts the 10-day right about there as well. A couple big numbers about to drop off if I count back 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's a couple numbers up there. We'll see if that trend gets 10-day moving average gets under 0.85. That's a sell signal. Nasdaq volume 5.4. You see it was down on Thursday because of the Veterans Day holiday. That kind of hurt us because it was just so slow when the banks are closed. VIX back down at $1.37 to 16.29. Apple up $2.12. Amazon up 52.65. But not near highs. Facebook up 13.15. Or I'm sorry, are we calling it Meta now? Yeah, they've already got Meta Platforms as the name for it anymore. Okay. Google, I should stop calling it Google, I guess. It's Alphabet, right? Alphabet up 58.23 on Friday. Goldman Sachs up 2.57. Netflix up 25.03. Tesla down 30. And Zoom was up 7.37. So, you know, that's off the lows, obviously. Bitcoin sitting at 65, almost 66,000. That's pretty amazing. Let's go to the 10-minute candles on the ES. For the week, small gap up Monday, pretty dead flat. Tuesday, open flat, went a little lower, then very dead flat. Wednesday, gap down, filled the gap, and then rolled over again. And that was the low of the week. Then Thursday, a small gap up that never filled. We just drifted. Remember, that was Veterans Day holiday, so there was nobody around. And then Friday, small gap up, didn't quite fill, bounced in the middle of the day, and we end up closing down about 12 points for the whole week on the S&P. So not exactly a very exciting net week there. Let's go look at the calendar and put this in place. I'll just go through some of the big ones. Right move HPI out of the UK. It's Sunday evening here. We already passed that. Revised industrial production out of Japan. We got the unemployment rate already out in China. Going into Monday, trade balance out of Europe. Manufacturing wholesale sales out of Canada. Empire State Manufacturing Index here in the US. Monetary policy meeting minutes out of Australia. Going into Tuesday, you got the unemployment rate out of the UK. Foreign direct investment out of China. French final CPI, flash employment change, flash GDP. Housing starts out of Canada. Then the US, 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, we've got retail sales, import-export prices. Capacity utilization, industrial production at 9:15. Business inventories at 10. NAHB housing market index at 10. GDT price index out of New Zealand. We've got a bunch of Fed members speaking. PPI out of New Zealand, that's not going to change the world. Trade balance out of Japan. Going into Wednesday, UK's inflation numbers, CPI, PPI, RPI. Italian trade balance, then the housing price index out of the UK. CPI out of Europe. Canada's got their CPI. Housing starts and building permits here in the US. CB leading index out of the UK. Oil inventories out of the US. A lot more Fed members speaking. Everybody's got something to say evidently here heading into Thanksgiving. Inflation expectations out of New Zealand. Thursday, trade balance out of Switzerland. ADP non-farm employment change out of Canada. Foreign securities purchases out of Canada. Philly Fed manufacturing index here in the US, along with our weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers. CB leading index. Natty gas on Thursday, back to its normal slot after last week's holiday. GFK consumer confidence out of the UK. Credit card spending out of New Zealand. German PPI, retail sales out of the UK, current account out of Europe, core retail sales out of Canada, and more Fed people speaking on Friday, and that is it. So none of our big three, no ADP number, no GDP number, no one that matters. You know, it's a straightforward trading week. Obviously, no Fed announcement. So we'll see what we get. Let's hope for some actual action because we know what the week after is probably going to look like. And then, you know, after that, you got like 3 great weeks usually between there, and then you start getting into the last 2 weeks of the year, Christmas and New Year's, and everybody's on holiday. We'll talk about that when we get into December. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.